Recently, one of the most well-known chart analysts in the entire cryptocurrency space, with 1.2 million followers on X, called XRP the trade. He did indeed call XRP the trade. Additionally, he has a history of holding unfavorable views regarding XRP. Given this, you might be surprised to learn that I do agree with him in a number of ways, including when he refers to XRP as the stupid trade. The person on your screen is none other than 𝗙𝗶, a former executive at Goldman Sachs. He is the founder and CEO of 𝗙𝗶ৃ, a global macro investor and one of the most astute people in the whole Bitcoin industry. I believe I've had admiration for him for nearly 5 years. I've discussed how Bitcoin and the entire crypto asset class adhere to Global M too extensively on this channel. And it's because of him that I fully understand what's happening and the implications. That individual on your TV is responsible for that comprehension. And he's right, correct in many important respects. That does not, however, mean that he is always right. He is right about a lot of significant things, but not all of them. I'm not, and neither is anyone. Furthermore, he has taught more people than almost anyone else in the field on a few foundational subjects. If you wish to profit greatly from cryptocurrencies, you must be aware of these factors. I want to raise awareness of this issue now so that everyone can appreciate 𝗙𝗶's experience with XRP. The first thing I mentioned on August 21st of last year was this. What was the price of XRP at the time? It was most likely slightly less than 50, or perhaps slightly more. That cost a lot less in those days than it does now. The headline read, XRP enthusiasts are being misled by a cult-like mentality, according to 𝗙𝗶. 𝗙𝗶 made this assertion at the time, which clearly did not hold up over time. However, as I previously stated, no one is always right. This is a transcription of his remarks from a video he produced. You might be right, he said. You may have a lifelong love for XRP. XRP is behaving as if it were into previous bull markets. Kindly move forward with the most popular option. I understand that you are afraid. It will be the big one this time. Many alerts will be sent to assist you in re-entering the market, but since you are stuck in the past, you will miss the bull market. The community has a large population. It is bad to be a member of a cult. However, I don't want to be the object of abuse on the internet. We are employed as mercenaries. We are not a cult. We are here to make money. The leaders of cults are the only ones who benefit from them. I understand that using terms like XRP, Cardano, and so on could cause offense. Hope is not a financial commitment. However, I genuinely hope you're correct. It is obvious that that assertion has not held up over time. It aged like spoiled milk. Yes, it is true, as we all know. When he called it a cult mindset, I believe he overreacted. For fundamental and significant reasons, many reasonable people supported XRP. Therefore, if you're going to use the word cult, you'd better be referring to the toxic Bitcoin maximalists out there. They are the only cryptocurrency group deserving of the term cult. There, rather than in XRP, is the real cult mentality. People invest in XRP because it is a genuinely alluring investment opportunity, not because of cult mentality or religion. There are only regular investors involved. Any cult-like behavior you may mention is the fault of Bitcoin maximalists. Greater than that was a bit much, in my opinion. I was also surprised when he said, quote, if XRP does start to move, you will get a signal to reinvest. That sounds like something newbies do. My God, I assumed he wasn't a novice either. You want to ensure that you are exposed and that you endure the highs and lows. Buying and doing nothing else is, in my opinion, the best financial advice. You guys can do whatever you want. Buying and holding was the best strategy for me, but I'm not suggesting that anyone buy or sell. I did nothing for years after buying assets. Those assets are now worth a fortune compared to my initial investment, and that was prior to the current euphoria bull run. I've never been more thrilled to own XRP and be involved in the cryptocurrency space. Thus, I was surprised by his previous statements. To his credit, he was modest about the increase in XRP. As one might expect from a man of his caliber, he admitted his mistake. According to the headline, 𝗙𝗶 admits he was wrong about XRP. Celebrates growth of 400%, he said bluntly. You were correct. I was mistaken. In an article on X, formerly Twitter, Ever since, he has supported XRP. This is why I was surprised by what I read in a post made this morning by XRP community member 𝗙𝗶𝗹. 𝗙𝗶𝗹 said, "I have never witnessed one individual flip-flop so much on a single asset. These days, 𝗙𝗶𝗹 refers to XRP as the trade." That really caught my attention, I thought. After the beginning of XRP's rise in December, 𝗙𝗶𝗹 finally admitted he was wrong. In several updates I saw from him throughout 2025, he acknowledged that XRP might increase significantly from here. Does he call it the trade now? As a result, I watched the video and took note of some of the relevant parts. In actuality, he said this: "Whether you like it or not, people will buy XRP, Doge, and Cardano because their token prices are cheap." The part of the transcript where he discussed topics unrelated to this conversation was not transcribed by me. "It's always a good trade to just buy the cheapest item in the top 10, he added. "I'll now walk you through the trade. Furthermore, I'm not implying that having them makes one stupid. I'm talking about the moment when private investors join the market. What are they looking at? You're new to cryptocurrency. Greetings from the cryptocurrency world. Bitcoin is currently worth $116,000 USD. I can't afford that, my God. The cost of Ethereum is high. It turns out that XRP costs $3. I'm allowed a small amount of that. Greater than we've all been through. What happens, so you see it. That's exactly what," he said. "Here is how I would respond to that." Our Paul didn't change his mind. I sent 𝗙𝗶𝗹 a letter. He was describing how inexperienced cryptocurrency buyers are more drawn to tokens with lower prices. I absolutely agree with him on that. The trade, he called it. He was careful to clarify that he wasn't talking about regular retail XRP holders. I don't know about you, but I'm thrilled about how inexpensive XRP is per unit right now, people. I agree with this. I do believe that many of the new investors will be inexperienced. They want to acquire a lot of tokens, and because of XRP's vast supply, they can get a lot more than they could with other priceless assets. That's incredible. If anything, the price of XRP will increase to an unknown degree due to this demand. I'm not sure if there will be a slight or significant increase. But we gain when FOMO strikes while shopping. There is nothing wrong with admitting that. As I will demonstrate later, Bitcoin enthusiasts are jealous of those who enjoy the same benefit. They wish their unit was smaller. Thus, it's great to acknowledge this. That does not, however, mean that seasoned investors like you and I are categorized with those novices. We buy XRP because we comprehend its fundamentals. I'm speaking broadly, but I'm willing to bet that most of you listening have been XRP investors for years because you have researched and recognized its enormous potential. You know it's not likely to go away. Furthermore, you probably know that some of the new investors have already arrived and will not be aware of what